It's not just about getting the fish and out of the water. It's a way of life. It's a culture. It's fishing for us is a culture. It's a culture of sharing. It's a culture of togetherness. The plight of people who have to eat fish for a living to get their protein, to feed their families. It doesn't seem to be anybody else's priority except those people, individuals, you know. The small-scale fisherman policy, you know. It's not moving fast enough. The process has been flawed. The rules and regulations are fine on paper, but in practice, they're not happening. Now, the government doesn't give us permits, so we have to poach. That's the reality. We don't know how the heck they chose all those people who were supposed to have permits and left out a whole lot of others. We don't know the criteria. We don't know the selection process. There's zero transparency. Don't understand why I have to have a permit to get fish to feed my family. I really don't understand that, because those 2 or 3 fish that I'm going to grab to feed my family, they don't harm anybody. You know. So I don't understand why we have to get permits. If people are living on less than $1 a day, where the heck do you expect them to get 76 bucks? They have to ride to town. I'll give you a typical case in my village. To get to town, to the post office, to get a recreational boat, because the department is not dishing out these permits. It cost me 60 bucks to get a 76 rand recreational permit. Now, if I could afford it, I wouldn't really have a problem. But the point is, I'm not supposed to afford it. It's my customary right.
Yeah, my CDC's main objective is to do advocacy, to mobilize fishing communities in order to advocate for better and improved policy and legislative environment for fishing. Why do you need a permit to practice your culture? Because they have done it for generations. They've done it, their parents have done it, their great-grandparents have done it. It's been practiced in that community time immemorial, you know, so you don't have to apply for that. It's a constitutional right that you have. Customary rights in fishing communities has a particular meaning in the sense that it is a culture, it is a practice, it is a way of life. It has evolved within communities and is shaped by communities themselves. So customary rights is, in a sense, customary rights is recognized in the constitution of the country. So it is an automatic right that you have or that you acquire through cultural practices in the past.
For coastal people, fishing is a right it's a practice they've been indulging in for the past, as long as they have a history, you know. So they've been practicing conservation throughout that period. It's only with the advent of the big multinationals that suddenly resources became a problem. We're not competing with them, but the point is they're decimating the resources.
With commercial fishing, it is very different, because that is not a culture. That is a business. That is you're doing it for profit. In our situation, the communities we work with, it's a cultural tradition, you know, and you oughtn't to be forced to apply for permission to practice your culture.
From our perspective, we sit there with fishing rods, spend the whole day fishing, might catch 2 fish, you know. But there comes the big companies. They come with their giant sheeps and their giant nets, and they haul everything. Government service delivery is down to zero in most places. So what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Stop what you've been doing for thousands of years? Because somebody wants to dictate that you must get a piece of paper to get fish? I'm sorry, he doesn't wash with us. You know? No, it doesn't. It's not going to work. It's never going to happen. It's just an oppressive rule that's been inherited from an oppressive regime. You know?
There are too many laws, and they just simply do not know how to apply it. And in some cases, different parts of the law contradict cultural practice or even constitutional rights that you have. So we're in a bizarre situation where, you know, we live in a democracy, we live in a free country, but you still have to apply for a license to be free as a fisher. You know, it doesn't come. You know, it's not automatic. It's part of the problem of, I think sometimes we would want to say that we are over-constitutional. That the constitution is too good, so that it tries to cover too many different things. And in doing so, the people who has the responsibility to oversee this democratic practice, this freedom that we have, do not know how to do it. Because there's too much law, there's too much constitution.